Namaste. Hello and welcome to your Vinyasa Flow practice. We'll be working into our Natarajasana pose, Lord of the Dance pose or Dancer's pose. To start, we're going to start in about 7 minutes of opening up the spine. So we're going to work using a block up the spine. We'll start with the block lower, and then 2 minutes later we'll take it up a little bit higher. 2 minutes later we'll take it a little bit higher, and so we'll open up the spine in preparation for our practice. And while we are in these poses, opening the spine using our blocks, I'm just going to go through the story of Nataraja and the meaning behind the pose and how it can attribute to our lives and the way we live today. So just take your hands together before the heart and bow your head in preparation for your practice. Opening through the eyes. So for this practice you'll need 2 blocks. If you don't have blocks, it'll be a good idea to find some books or some props that you can use, because we definitely will be needing props for the practice. I have the most beautiful view outside the window just in front of me, and I can see people walking past and taking their dogs for a walk and stopping and meeting. It's really nice. So with your blocks, you're going to start with the first block, and I'll demonstrate all 3 shapes because I'll just say to you, move deeper, and then you'll move into the next one. So the first one will be to take the block underneath the back of the pelvis. And because we're thinking of opening up the spine, but right up to the shoulders, you can take your arms up and over and hold the hands up over the head, grab opposite elbows if it's available. The second shape will be to take the block up a little higher, so you'll press through your feet, lift up, and take the block between the back ribs. Underneath the back ribs. And again, you can have the arms up, and if you want, you can bring the soles of the feet together. And then the third and the highest opening will be the use of 2 blocks, taking the block up even higher, taking your second block behind your head, and then just coming to lie over the highest opening. So one is the block underneath the pelvis, lying on your back in that banana curve shape. The second is taking it up behind the middle ribs, and the third is turning the block up to its second height and using the second block for your head. So let's start in our first position, getting really comfortable. Choose how you having the block underneath the back of the pelvis. Choose where you want your arms to be, out by the side, grabbing opposite elbows. You can have the legs straight. Now, Natarajasana, the Lord of the Dance pose. Natarajasana is a standing balanced posture that involves bending one knee and grasping the ankle or the foot from behind. As the yogi then leans forward and kicks back with the foot, and arm stretches forward to complete the pose. This pose is the physical embodiment of one of the many guises of Shiva, the king of the dance. Nisha once wrote, "If they want me to believe in their God, they'll have to sing better songs. I could only believe in a God who dances." As one of the Hindu trinity, Shiva has many different persona that illuminate his essence. The most well-known is his role as the king dancer, or in Sanskrit, Nataraja. In this guise, he is commonly portrayed with snakes around his neck, dreadlocks standing on end, balancing atop a tiny dwarf and encircled by a ring of fire. Oddly enough, this imposing image conveys a lot of compassion if we know how to look at it through a yogic lens. The ages of the world are long, and at the end of each one, Shiva stands ready to turn it all to dust, so that yet another world can be created to exist for yet another age. while we as mere mortals will never live long enough to see an entire age from the beginning to the end, the deathless form of Shiva as Nataraja sees each age as only a passing moment in time. In one of his hands, he holds a drum. With each beat, he signals the death and rebirth of another age. And this drum beats fast, undaunted by the slow pace of cosmic disintegration. Shiva dances to his own music within a circle of flame, known as samsara. So take your block now and move it underneath your back ribs, moving up the spine. Perhaps you bring the soles of your feet together and your knees apart. Samsara is the cyclical pattern in which we are stuck, the constant repetition of birth, life, and death. This corresponds well to the idea of reincarnation. Another way to think of samsara is as the many ways in which we get stuck in patterns and habits throughout our lives that don't serve us but rather inhibit us. This spinning karmic cycle of samsara does not trouble Shiva. He just sees it as one more rhythm to dance to. Shiva is unafraid of this binding wheel of fire, just as he is unafraid of the serpents around his neck. Now the snakes are potent metaphors within the yogic philosophy, and as most of us, they are frightening creatures, especially the cobra that dangles from the neck of Shiva as he dances. The poison the cobra carries symbolizes the toxic nature of avidya, this misunderstanding of ourselves as something other than divine. The cobra's poison is not toxic for our Lord of the Dance. He has found the remedy to that affliction, which is enlightened knowledge, and he carries its symbolic flame in one of his hands. Yoga seeks to rid us of the ignorance of avidya through various practices such as asana, pranayama, and meditation, and by constantly reminding us of the fact that we are all divine in nature. Still, we constantly forget, become locked into the cycle of samsara, and fall prey to the poison of avidya. In the depiction of Shiva as the king dancer, ignorance is represented by the tiny dwarf-like demon upon which he stands. This seemingly helpless creature is usually busy causing mischief, which mainly consists of keeping us all caught up in our own daily dramas. When you're ready, take the blocks up to the higher height, placing one between the shoulder blades, one underneath the head. Perhaps your feet go into Trikonasana for our last and complete opening here. But Shiva proves to be the master, and he does not let this little character get the best of him, and instead he uses him as a pedestal for his dance. By standing over the demon of ignorance, he is able to have a higher gaze or higher level of consciousness, which allows him to rise above daily drama. For him, the only thing worth paying attention to is the rhythm of the dance. Shiva, the cosmic dancer, is not filled with guilt over the destruction of each age. He knows that everything that is born must also die. He understands that destruction clears the path for rebirth, and that in rebirth and growth there is compassion. Brahma, the creator, cannot do this work himself properly if Shiva, the destroyer, has not done his. It is Shiva's destruction that provides the fertile platform for Brahma's process of rebuilding. In order to dance like Shiva, we must feel free. Freedom comes from knowing there is nothing that binds us permanently. Shiva's dance is born out of liberation from the fear of change. He teaches us to ride the wave of change as if we were on a cosmic surfboard coasting toward the shore of bliss. Shiva's lessons are integral to the yogic path. In the Yogic Sutra, Patanjali outlines 5 obstacles that prevent us from true freedom, which are called the kleshas. The first is avidya, and the 5th and most powerful obstacle is the fear of death, or abhinavesha. Death is the ultimate change and takes many forms in our lives. until the greatest death of all, which comes at the end. As the Lord of death and destruction, Shiva understands that change, even one as great as death, is really the only constant in the universe. When you're ready now, remove all your blocks, come to lie on your back and take happy baby pose. The fear of change causes more stress than possibly any other fear. It is fear of changing borders that causes many wars, and the fear of changing our views which makes us cling to dogma. The sheer desire to have things remain the same according to the Buddha is the nature of all suffering. Conversely, embracing change liberates us from that suffering. The scientific law of conservation of mass states that matter can neither be created or destroyed. In essence, if you want to make something new, you must destroy something old or allow it to die. So Shiva, in his ultimate wisdom, is utterly compassionate in his destruction. He gives us the freedom to demolish our social norms and create something entirely new. He creates the space for us to make positive, abundant choices in our lives and let go of fear. If we truly want to change, then we must learn to embrace a little death and destruction. Just come to lie on your back in Shavasana for one more moment. Natarajasana allows us to experience a couple of physical elements that can bring about fear in our bodies. Backbending and balancing both elicit fear because of the openness and bravery they require. We tend to store fear in our heart according to the chakra system. And when we open the heart, we give ourselves an opportunity to let go of fear. Likewise, balancing gives us an opportunity to overcome our natural fear of falling and to be brave and free. If we can backbend and balance with the same sense of liberation with which Nataraja dances, then it will be easier for us to embrace this freedom in our midst and our hearts. Thank you for letting me share this with you, and if you're interested in the myths of the asanas, I'll just put a link to the book in the comments below. When you're ready, just begin to hug your knees into the body and begin to just rock and roll a little bit from side to side. And then crossing at the ankles, come up to seated, up and over, taking your tabletop position. Let's work with our hands on our blocks over here. So place your hands on your blocks, spreading the fingers wide. Drop the belly down. Inhale, lift the heart, look up. Exhale and round. Press the back ribs up to the ceiling. Allow your head to hang heavy. 3 more. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale. Feel this movement in your spine. And exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Last one. Inhale. And exhale. Curl the toes under. Lift the hips and come into your downward facing dog. Keeping your blocks. Gently begin to pedal out the legs, moving the hips from side to side. Coming to stillness. Inhale. Lift your right leg up high and reach it up. And then curl the knee in towards your nose. Come right up onto your tippy toes of your left foot. And then straighten your right leg forward between your hands. Draw it all the way back up. Take your leg across towards your left hand. Straighten the leg. Draw it back. Take your leg through to the right. Straighten it. Keep it off the earth and extend it back. Drop your foot to the earth. Roll forward into your plank pose. Take Chaturanga. Now drop your hips to the earth. Inhale and lift up into a back bend. Exhale, release, curl the toes under. Come back to downward facing dog. Take a full inhale and exhale. Press to your right foot. Inhale, lift your left leg up high. And then from here, curl your knee towards your nose and hug it in as much as you can. Come right up onto the toes of your right foot. Now straighten your right leg towards the center and then draw it back. Take your leg towards the left. Try and keep it off the earth if you can. Take it back. And then take it over to the right. Take it back. Drop your foot through between to the earth. Roll forward into your plank pose. Bend through the elbows, coming down. Release your hips. Lift up into a back bend. Exhale, come down. Downward facing dog. Take a full inhale. And exhale. Walk your hands towards your feet. Leave the blocks where they are. Inhale. Lengthen out the back body. Exhale, fold in and hug in. Again, inhale, lift and lengthen. Exhale, fold in. One more time, inhale, lift and lengthen. Exhale and fold in. Inhale, rise all the way up to stand. Let's find a beautiful back bend. Hands together before the heart. Take a full inhale and exhale. Hopefully you can feel the awakening in the core here. Inhale, stretch the arms up. Exhale, forward fold. Bring your hands to the earth. Walk your hands all the way forward, finding your blocks. Now take your blocks just slightly forward and roll forward into your plank pose. Take an inhale. Exhale, back to downward facing dog. Lifting your right leg up high. Now roll forward into your plank pose. Bring your knee towards the nose and then extend your leg between your hands. Straighten both legs. Inhale. Come right up onto the fingertips. Lift and lengthen the spine. Exhale. Fold over your straight leg. Inhale again. Lift and lengthen. Press through the hands and draw your right leg back up. Now take it over towards the right side, let it hover, and then extend it back. Take it over towards the left, let it hover, take it back. Step your foot all the way through between the hands, drop your back knee down. Inhale, reach the arms all the way up. Settle in to a back bend. And then when you're ready, bring your hands back to your block. Lift your back knee up. Reach your right leg up towards the sky. And then take a three-legged chaturanga, coming all the way down. Dropping both feet down, lift to an up dog. Back to a downward facing dog. Take a full inhale. And exhale. Inhale, press through your, roll forward into your plank pose. Hold your plank pose for a moment. And then come back to downward facing dog. Inhale, lift your left leg up high. Bring your left foot through to the center, hover, if you can. Extend your leg back. Take it through to the center, hover, and then drop the foot down. Fold over your front leg. Inhale, long spine. Come onto your fingertips if you need. Press your heels down. Exhale, fold. One more time. Inhale and lift. Exhale and fold. When you're ready, drawing your leg all the way back and up. Taking it to the outside of your left hand. Straight leg, let it hover. Taking it back. Take it over towards the right. Let it hover if you can. And take it back. Step your foot all the way through. Drop your back knee down. Inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, sink in. Begin to cultivate a back bend here. Take a full inhale. Exhale, bring your hands to the earth. Curl your right toes under. Lift the knee. Take your left leg up. Come forward into a three-legged chaturanga. Bend the elbows. Inhale, lift up to an upward facing dog. Back to downward facing dog. Take a full inhale and exhale. Slowly walk your hands to your feet. Inhale, long spine. Exhale and fold. Inhale, rising all the way up. Find a back bend. Bring your hands together before the heart. Take an inhale and exhale. Inhale, stretching the arms up. Exhale, forward fold, coming down. Inhale, ripple the spine long. Exhale, fold in. Bring your hands in between your feet. Inhale, ripple up long. Exhale, fold and bend. One more time. Inhale. Exhale and fold in. Walk your hands forward, finding your blocks. Take a full inhale and exhale. Roll forward into your plank pose. Roll over onto the knife edge of your left foot and take your right arm up. Now if you can, pull your right knee up towards the ceiling. Drop your foot behind you and stretch the heart open. When you're ready, gently take your right hand to your right block, spin around and pull your left leg through. Maybe you keep it up, maybe you drop it to the earth. Take your hand down, reaching the leg up, step your foot through. Between the hands this time, you keep the back knee lifted. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, swing your hands behind your back. Let's cultivate that back bend, lifting and opening through the chest. Sink a little lower, take an inhale. Exhale, release, bringing your hands to the block. Straighten your front leg, curl in. Come forward, lift and open the chest. Exhale, straighten your front leg, curl in. One more time, lift. Last one, exhale, straighten, curl in. Take your right hand on the inside of your right foot, left heel down, reach the left arm up. Trikonasana. Take a full inhale and exhale. Bringing your left hand to your waist, bend your right knee, take your right hand forward and lift up into your half moon. Take a full inhale. Exhale, bring your hands together before the heart. One more inhale and exhale. Land all the way back into your warrior two, flip and reverse. Wimble your hands down to your blocks. Lift your right leg up high. Take your three-legged dog. Upward facing dog, use your blocks. Exhale, downward facing dog. Enjoy the freedom that your blocks bring you. Take one more inhale and exhale. When you're ready, ripple forward into your plank pose. Roll over onto the knife edge of your right foot, right hand, take the left arm up. Now bend your knee and see if you can bring your knee towards the ceiling. Now drop that foot behind you, find your back bend. Mindfully come around, place your left hand down, take your leg all the way through and perhaps it doesn't touch down. Dropping both hands down, reaching up through the left leg, step it through, stay on the toes of the back foot. Inhale, rise up into your lunge, find your mudra. You can interlace the hands behind the body as we did in the first round, or you can begin to cultivate the back bend here. Take one more inhale and exhale. Releasing the hands all the way down to the foot. We're going to straighten the front leg and curl in. Inhale, bend forward, come to fingertips. Open the chest. Exhale, round. Let's be about your spine. Inhale and exhale. One more inhale. Exhale. Press your back heel down. Bring your left hand on the inside, on the block of your left foot. Reach the right arm up. Triangle pose. Lengthen out through the spine. Take an inhale. And exhale. Bring your right hand onto your waist. Bend the front knee. Come forward into your half moon. Lift right up onto your fingertips. And if it's available, find the balance and bring your hands together before the heart. Take an inhale and exhale, bending the front knee, land all the way back into your warrior. Flip and reverse. Take your hands to the earth, find your blocks, step back into a three-legged dog. Feel all this height the blocks create. Roll forward into a plank. Chaturanga. Upward facing dog. And downward facing dog. Take a full inhale. And exhale. Inhale, come all the way forward. Into your plank pose. Lift the hips back high. Into downward facing dog. Now inhale, take your right leg up high. Roll forward into your plank pose. Chaturanga coming down. Release onto the belly. Bend through your right leg. Grab onto the foot and kick it up. Take a full inhale. Here's our dancer's pose. And exhale. Releasing all the way down. Bring your hands onto the blocks. Curl the toes under. Press into your plank pose and downward facing dog. Take a full inhale and exhale. Inhale, lift your left leg up. Lift your left leg up high. Roll forward into your plank pose. Keep that left leg lifted. Mindfully come down. Release onto the earth. Take your right hand forward. Bend the left leg and grab onto the foot. Reaching in towards your supine dancer's pose. Take an inhale and exhale. Releasing down. Place your hands on the blocks. Press up to a plank pose. And find your downward facing dog. Quite a challenging sequence for me. Walk all the way back. And then bend the knees and sit into your squat. Release the hands to the earth. Lift your hips up high. Toe your feet together. Inhale, reach the arms all the way up, palms touch. Find a little back bend. And then forward fold, bring the hands to the earth. Now I'd like you to just grab your blocks and bring them closer to you. Pressing into the blocks. Inhale, lift your right leg up towards the ceiling. Fold forward over your front leg, take an inhale. As you exhale, pull a straight right leg forward and bring it in line with your blocks. Take your left leg up, standing splits. Take your blocks, one block forward, and then draw a straight leg through in line with your blocks. Take your blocks, one more forward. Right leg all the way up. Find your standing splits. Take the right foot straight leg forward between the blocks. Hands forward. You can have the blocks higher if you need. And then straight leg. Big toes touch. Inhale along the spine. Exhale and fold. Inhale. Rise all the way up. Palms touch. Exhale, forward fold. Bring the hands to the blocks. Inhale, long spine, look forward. Exhale, fold. Soften your knees. Spread your hands. Jump back. High plank. Come all the way. Chaturanga. Lift up into your upward facing dog. Feel the height available. Back to downward facing dog. Remembering how we practice rolling over the toes. Take one more inhale and exhale. Inhale, lift your right leg up high. Bend your knee, yawn it open. And then if and when you're ready, drop into your wild thing. Take 3 breaths here. Coming all the way back, reaching your right leg up. Step it through between the hands. Drop your left knee down. Inhale, reach the right arm around and back. And find your left foot. Maybe you stay here, maybe you drop your left elbow onto the left block. Grabbing that right ankle, dropping the right knee out towards the right side. Lift and open through the heart. Take one more inhale and exhale. Coming back to center. Curl the back toes under, lift the back knee, and then rise up into your high lunge. Take a full inhale and exhale. Inhale. Exhale, reach the hands back and the heart forward, and then lift up into your aeroplane pose. Take a full inhale and exhale, drawing the knee up into the chest. Hug it in. Take an inhale. Exhale, reach the arms up. Extend the leg away. Bring the big toes to touch. Lift and find the back bend. And then forward fold, hands back to the earth. Inhale, long spine, look forward. Exhale, walk, step or jump back. Chaturanga, slow it down. Challenge your body. Upward facing dog. Breathe here into all space. Exhale, roll over the toes into downward facing dog. Take a full inhale and exhale. Press through the right foot. Inhale, lift your left leg up, bend the knee, yawn it open. Roll slightly forward into the right heel of the hand. Drop your leg back and find your wild thing. When you're ready, flipping all the way back, reaching your left leg up. Step it through between the hands. Drop your right knee down. Maybe you come onto the right elbow and grab a hold of the left ankle. Swing your left hand around and grab onto the foot. You're welcome to stay there or begin to open the left knee and cultivate your back bend. When you're ready, coming all the way back to center, lift the back knee up. Inhale, rise up into your high lunge. Take an inhale. Exhale, arrowhead. Lift forward into that left leg, finding your aeroplane pose. Little back bend here with the upper spine. Drawing your right knee all the way in, hug it in. Take a full inhale. Exhale, reach the arms up. Now kick that heel away. Bring your big toes to touch. Find your back bend. And then forward fold, bringing the hands to the earth. Inhale, long spine. Exhale, walk, step or jump back. Take Chaturanga really this time. Make it even slower. Find the strength and then lift up. Enjoy your back bend. Roll over the toes to downward facing dog. Take a full inhale and exhale. Inhale, lift your right leg up high. Set your right leg up for your pigeon pose. Slide your left leg away. Let's stay upright here. Taking your left hand onto, Taking your right hand onto the block in front of you. Bend through your back leg. Swing the hand around and grab onto the foot. Now drop down through the hips. Inhale, reach the opposite arm up. You can stay here. If you want to take the stronger variation, bring the back foot into the elbow crease. One more inhale and exhale. When you're ready, releasing all the way down. Take the blocks out to the side for a moment and drop your forehead to the earth. Now, from here, if it's available, bend back into that left foot and grab hold of the left foot just to draw it up and stretch through the quad. Releasing all the way down, placing your hands onto your blocks. Curl the back toes under, lift your back knee, your right leg up, and then walk it out or take a flow. Downward facing dog. Take a full inhale and exhale. Inhale, lift your left leg all the way up. And then gently bring the knee in towards the nose and set it up for your pigeon pose. Sliding your back leg away. Come to a lift up through the fingertips. Open the heart. Take an inhale here and exhale. Maybe this is where you stay. Perhaps you want to bend through that back leg. Bring your left hand onto the block in the center of the mat. Take your right hand away and find your right foot. Take the left arm up. Maybe you want to go a little deeper and find your bind. Take a full inhale and exhale. When you're ready, releasing all the way down. Just removing the blocks to the side for a moment, unless you need them. And then drop down into your pigeon. Inhaling, coming all the way up, find your blocks. Underneath your hands, pull the back toes under, lift the back knee, taking your leg all the way up, and then mindfully, slowly take a chaturanga. Hold here, and then roll over the toes for downward facing dog. Take a full inhale and exhale. Slowly walk your hands back to your feet. Take your feet out wide. Sitting into Manasana. Breathing here. Sequence to take us to our peak pose. Place your hands down, lift your hips high and toe heel the feet in towards each other. Inhale, long spine, exhale and fold. Inhale, rising all the way up, palms touch, find a back bend. Exhale, swan dive, coming down to the earth. Inhale, long spine, exhale and fold. Walk your hands all the way forward, finding your hands on your blocks. Come forward. Bend the elbows. Rock your hips down. Inhale and lift all the way up. Exhale, release down. Curl the toes under. Press into your plank pose. Hips to downward facing dog. Inhale, lift your right leg up high. Step your right foot through between the hands. Inhale, rise all the way up. Take an inhale. Exhale, arrowhead. Inhale, come forward into your aeroplane pose. Rise up, bringing the knee in towards the chest. Now from here, bring your knees to touch. Take your left hand down to grab a hold of your foot. Now begin to kick your leg away and lean the heart forward, coming in towards your dancer's pose. Draw your hips parallel with the earth. 3 more breaths. Inhale, coming back up, reaching your knee up into the chest. Extend the leg away, pull a straight leg through, bring your hands to your block, standing splits. Step back into a lunge. Step back into your plank, chaturanga. Enjoy this upward facing dog. Back into downward facing dog. Take a full inhale and exhale. Inhale, lift your left leg up high. Step your left foot through between your hands. Inhale, reach the arms all the way up. Coming into your high lunge, take an inhale. Exhale, arrowhead. Reach the heart forward from here, lift up. Finding your dancer's pose. Take an inhale and exhale, drawing your right leg all the way up. And then from here, bring your knees to touch. Take your right hand down and grab onto your foot. Left hand comes into a mudra. When you're ready, begin to come forward towards your dancers. Keep aligning through the hips. 3 more breaths. Inhale, coming all the way up, bringing that knee up into the chest. Extend the leg out in front of you, and then take a straight leg through. Bring your hands to the blocks and find your standing splits. Bending back, step into your low lunge. Step back into your plank pose. Bend the elbows. Bring your hips to the earth. Slide your elbows onto the blocks and lift up into a sphinx pose. 3 breaths here. When you're ready, release all the way down, pressing through the hands, finding your plank pose, and then downward facing dog. Take a full inhale and exhale. Our last vibrant sequence to work through. Inhale, lift your right leg up. Pretty similar to where we've just been. As you exhale, step your foot through between your hands. Inhale, reach the arms all the way up into your high lunge. From here, take arrowhead. Arrowhead lifts you into your aeroplane pose. Aeroplane pose, you draw the knee into the chest. Hook onto the foot. Take an inhale. Now exhale, see if you can begin to bring your right hand to your block or to the floor and kick your leg up in towards your Trikonasana. Take 1 more inhale and exhale, release the foot, find your half moon. Bend the front knee, land into your warrior, flip and reverse. Windmill your hands down to the earth. Find your blocks, step back into your plank, control the descent, be brave and open in the back bend, downward facing dog. Take a full inhale and exhale, powerful sequence here. Inhale, lift your left leg up high, step your left foot through between the hands. Inhale, rise up, high lunge. Exhale, arrowhead. Arrowhead to aeroplane. Aeroplane to reaching that knee up. Right hand grabs the ankle. Now bring your left hand slowly, mindfully towards a block or to the floor. And then kick that leg away, finding your Trikonasana. Take one more inhale and exhale. Now release the foot, reaching the arm up and the leg away. Bend your front knee, land back and reverse. Bring all the hands down to the earth, finding your block. Step back into your plank pose. Mindfully chaturanga, upward facing dog and downward facing dog. Take an inhale and exhale. Your big toes to touch. Take your knees to the earth. Take your hands down beside you and drop into your child's pose. Inhale, coming all the way up. Bring the hands together before the heart and just pause here for a moment. When you're ready, coming all the way up into high kneeling. Make sure you have 2 fist distances between your knees. Curl the toes under if you need. Bring your hands to support the lower back. Hug the elbows in. Open the heart. You can stay here. Or if you wish, take your right hand and then your left hand down. And find your camel pose. Bring the hands together before the heart, lifting all the way up. And then bring your knees together, take your heels apart and sit down into your Vajrasana or your hero's pose. And if you need to sit on a block, go ahead and sit on the block. Or pillow, taking your blocks behind you. Drop down onto your elbows. Perhaps this is enough for you. Perhaps you want to drop all the way down onto the earth and grab opposite elbows. Whichever variation you've chosen, sitting upright or leaning back onto elbows or all the way down. Let's take a couple of long breaths here. Two more breaths. When you're ready, bring your elbows back onto the blocks, lifting yourself up. And then from here, coming all the way up to seated, keeping the legs as they are. I'm just going to move to face forward. Now, keeping the legs as they are, we're just going to spin the right leg around. And then from here, taking the right leg first out in front of us. Inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, fold forward over that front leg. Now, if it's too much on your left knee,
Please change to Trikonasana, bringing the sole of the foot to the right inner thigh and the knee out to the side. Inhale, rising all the way up, releasing the hands, taking a hold of your foot. Bring the foot right up in towards the hip crease. Bring both knees to the earth. Perhaps you want to wrap around and find your big toe with the right hand. Left hand onto the knee, long spine, and begin to twist. Twist of the sage. Two more breaths. Releasing the bind, coming back to center, grabbing a hold of your foot and extending that leg out in front of you. Take one more inhale and exhale. When you're ready, bending through the knee, releasing your opposite leg and then taking your right leg in towards your bind. Straightening the left leg, inhale, reaching the arms up. Exhale, forward fold, bring your hands down. Breathing here again. If it's too much on this side of the body, just flip the toes onto the inner thigh, the left inner thigh, and the knee out to the side. Inhale, reaching the arms all the way up. And relaxing the arms to the earth. Take a hold of your left foot. Take the top of the foot and bring it right in to the hip crease. If this knee doesn't go down, just put a block underneath it. Maybe you wrap around first to find your big toe. And it's a lovely deep release onto the spine. And then when you're ready, twist to look over the back shoulder. Long deep breaths here in this twist. Inhaling when you're ready, coming all the way back to center. Grab a hold of the foot and extend the leg up in front of you. Keep lifting up through the chest, opening the heart. Take one more inhale and exhale. Releasing the foot all the way down, taking your opposite leg out, soles of the feet together, knees apart. Interlace the hands around the feet and then begin to fold forward. Inhaling, coming all the way up, and then hugging the knees in towards each other. Let's take our mats to the wall. Okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to work towards our headstand. And I'd like you to measure, if you place your thumb in your elbow crease, and then come forward and bring your elbows to the earth. So that's the width that you want for your elbows. And then you're going to interlace your hands, and then bring the baby fingers to the earth, but then open up your hands so that you're creating like a little cup in which to place your head. Bring the top of the head, so not, if you come into, if you think about your head, if your head
was square, that portion there. So not the top and not the back, but where the head just curves, that's where you want to cup your hands. So let's do this again. Measure your elbows, distance. Interlace the hands, cup the hands. Place the right portion of your head into your hands. Now notice your head is in your hands, it's not on the earth. There's zero part of your head touching the earth. Inhale, lift the legs. Now you can even take your head out of your hands or bring your head back in. Perhaps this is where you stay. Perhaps you begin to walk your toes close towards the elbows. Now if you hear any zinging in your ears, or if there's any amount of discomfort in your neck or shoulders, then that is as far as you go, and you don't go further. So please be really, really mindful in this practice, working with your neck and your shoulders. If you have any neck or shoulder injuries, or pain, or discomfort, or if you have huge amounts of fear around this pose, I don't recommend you go into the shape. But you can continue to practice here and begin to acquire the strength and the skills that you need. So my head's right off the earth, but my hands are ready to catch my head. So if I wanted to, I could bring my head down. Maybe you bring one knee in and then the other. Perhaps you hold here. Maybe you come in towards your headstand. So there's some benefit to facing a wall when you practice headstand, although sometimes we think that if we have the wall, we don't have to use as much of our body strength, we can fall in the wall. Unfortunately, the wall is not going to keep us safe except from falling right over. So if you are working towards the wall, interlace the fingers, bring your elbows down, find where you want your head to be, and then walk right in and maybe just come up, feet on the wall. Now you might want to lift your head up and down a couple of times here to be sure you're not placing all the weight onto your neck. And then perhaps you might want to lift the feet towards the ceiling. If headstand is a practice that you are keen on learning, I will be doing a dedicated class for headstand, and then it's a good idea to practice that class a couple of times. But with any yoga pose, the strength that we need, the confidence we need, the ability that we need to perform the pose is built in our practice more than built just in chasing that one shape. So practice and always coming. As BK Sayenge says, practice and always coming. Full practice will prepare you. Let's give that headstand one more go. Please be sure you're not crunching into your neck, that you're not placing all your weight in your head. So my head's actually right off the floor now. And you can keep it off the floor if you want. So you can come into your headstand where your head is completely free. And this was how I initially learned my headstand. And it's a beautiful way to make sure that you don't ever injure into your neck. 3 or 4 more breaths here. And when you're ready, come on out, and now we're going to take our rabbit's pose. Difficult to speak while in rabbit's pose. So you curl your toes under, you grab onto your heels, you fold forward, and you bring the very top of your head to the earth, and then as if you want to go into a forward fold, you begin to roll forward. Releasing all the way. Let's come back to our mats. And we're going to roll onto our backs. Once you're on your back, please take your arms out wide. Take your right leg, cross it over the left.
Lift the legs up off the earth, maybe double bind. Take your legs over to the left and look to the right. Breathe into the right side of the body. Inhaling, coming back to center, swapping around. Rock over to the other side. Look over to the left. Come back to center, hug your knees in. And then from here, we're going to just rock up to seated. Taking the legs out in front of us. I'd like you to use your blocks here to bring them underneath the knees. And if you have something soft just to put over your blocks, go ahead and do. So it's a little bend on the knees, because we want to fold forward and get our tummies to touch the thighs. And then relax into the forward fold. Inhaling, coming all the way up to seated, crossing through the legs. And then just bringing your hands onto your knees, maybe turning the palms up and closing down the eyes. So as we move into these more challenging poses, like our dancers pose and like our headstand, they're poses that can bring about quite a bit of fear. And when we are really fearful, it can create injury in the body. So if you really feel a lot of fear around the pose, I would always advise you to address that fear before you continue to practice. So to just jump into a headstand even though you're feeling very fearful, it's not a good idea. But what can clear fear? So fear is often caused by ignorance or lack of knowledge. So if we do all the preparation that we need in the poses, if we build the strength in our body, it's building a physical knowledge around the shape. And that will dissolve the fear. So if you're facing a lot of fear in your practice, or a lot of fear in your body, or a lot of fear in your life, try and create some tangible knowledge around it, some practice around what you are fearing, until the knowledge and the practice washes away the fear. When you're ready, bring your hands in to pray. Let's take our Shavasana now. And I advise you to take any shape of Shavasana that you need. Allow your whole body to relax. Please be sure that you are warm. surrender any breath control and just allow yourself to be here, following the rising of the breath, the inhale, the abiding of the breath, the pause, and then the destruction of the breath, the exhale, and then the rebirth in the pause, and the rising and the birth of the breath on the inhale. Rising, abiding, and resolving. And allow yourself to become comfortable with the cycle of birth, life, and death, rebirth, life, and death. And then placing the feet on the floor, just gently windshielding your legs a little left to right. Rolling over to your preferred side, just staying there for a moment. And then coming all the way up to seated. Taking the hands into Anjali Mudra. Namaste. Thank you so much for exploring this practice with me, and have fun with it. Do it a couple of times, play with it, and just enjoy. I look forward to seeing you soon. Please leave a comment below. Bye.